today we are back with a part 2 of brutal tattoo pains, with majority of these going beyond just the pain of the needle. Some of these are physical, some of these are emotional, and some you kind of just got to live through to understand for yourself. So at number 1, we're starting off with a pain that doesn't physically hurt you, but this one can actually hurt so much more because it is going to hit you deep down in your feelings. So much so, it might be having you questioning whether your tattoo is good or not, and even if your artist liked the tattoo they did to begin with. And this pain is when your tattoo artist doesn't post your tattoo on their page shortly after you've had it done. Like, this one, like, fucking sucks, and it hurts because you sat through hours of pain, you've connected with your artist, and your piece actually turns out awesome. It looks amazing, and even your artist says how much they love it. You're hyped to hear that. You start thinking so highly about it, and you kind of are expecting and hoping to go home and see your tattoo posted on their Instagram profile. You wait a couple of hours, nothing, but you know, you give them time. You wait a couple of days, still nothing, and then you start seeing other tattoos they've done be posted before yours, and then that slow thought creeps in that your tattoo's not making it. Now, I know this is a stupid thing to stress about, but if you've ever gotten a tattoo, you know how awesome it feels to make it to their profile page, and then you can kind of guess how shitty it feels when your tattoo doesn't. Now, at number 2, we actually have a pain that'll have you in tears if done wrong, and it's equivalent to ripping a band-aid off your skin, and that is removing Saniderm or any type of second skin off your new tattoo. Now, I have always been one to stand by Saniderm. I love using it for a new tattoo, as it's a lifesaver in the whole healing process until it is time to take it off. And this is where a lot of you will experience a considerable amount of pain, especially if you do not know how to properly take it off. I mean, just listen to me here trying to take it off for the first time. Oh my fucking God. Like, even to this day, I still remember how much that hurt. It honestly feels like you're peeling off your own flesh. And I mean, that statement isn't too far-fetched because you kind of are, as you know, that adhesive is just kind of sticking to your skin and new tattoo and the surrounding skin. So when you start peeling it off, yeah, all that is sticking to it. So take my advice, especially if you are somebody that is thinking about using Saniderm or any type of second skin in the future. Don't just try ripping it off. There are actually a couple methods to properly go about taking it off that isn't painful, and I covered all in this video right here. That is definitely worth checking out. Also, another super painful thing that comes along with using Saniderm or any type of second skin, if there's any hair underneath that area that you put the second skin over that you haven't shaved, have fun taking that off, because at that point you're just pretty much waxing a fresh wound. Oh, you fucker! I have done that a couple of times, and man, does that hurt. Now, for number 3, we have the first couple showers after getting your fresh new tattoo. Now, this one's kind of funny because this is no longer just your regular simple type of shower rinse that you're used to. This now becomes a tactical mission. The water needs to be the perfect, and I mean perfect temperature, because even if the water is off just by a little bit in heat, it will hurt and sting like a motherfucker. Let me tell you this, a fresh tattoo and hot water do not mix well at all. And the first couple showers after that tattoo will have you ducking, rotator, and even angling your body away from the water like it's acid. Even a gentle splash of hot water on this tattoo will feel like somebody has just slapped your skin. So really make sure that temperature is perfect. And here is a little personal tip from me, because I have kind of learned the hard way. Let the water fully run through the system before you decide to kind of jump in the shower. I've had a couple instances where I've turned the water on, I felt it right away and thought it was the perfect temperature, jumped in, and then I was hit by an immense stinging and feeling of pain because that full hot water had finally run through the system, and it was on my new tattoo. So give it like a minute or two, run through the system, and this pain won't be something you will experience for yourself. Now, the 4th brutal tattoo pain that I have for you is trying to sleep with a fresh tattoo. Listen, I know sleep is sacred for all of us. It's that time where we're finally able to sit back, relax, and it's also a big aid in helping with the recovery of a new tattoo. But those first few nights after a tattoo, especially a big tattoo, is just an absolute nightmare, and it's probably going to be one of the worst sleeps that you get, because if you got a stomach tattoo or chest tattoo, then say hello to sleeping like Dracula on your back. Or maybe you got a big tattoo on your back, then say hello to sleeping on your stomach for the next week. Maybe you got a tattoo on your arm or leg, and then you're sleeping out with it out of the sheets in weird positions, and it can all just become a very restless and uncomfortable sleep. To make it even worse, and the worst part about sleeping with a new tattoo is when you roll onto it and you end up sleeping on it, because then yeah, that. You wake up with it stuck to the sheets or your clothes, and then you gotta have to peel it off, which has probably dried a little bit by now. And if you've ever had a cut or scrape and you had to wrap around gauze on it and that is dried to it, you know how painful it can be to kind of rip those gauze off that new kind of fresh or flesh wound that you have. It's just a whole nother pain in itself, and like, oh my god, it's happened to me a couple of times, unfortunately, and it just sucks and it makes me cringe every time I think about it. Now, my fifth brutal tattoo pain that I have for you is wearing clothes over a fresh tattoo. Now listen, I know this sounds kind of dumb, but putting clothes back onto your body after getting a tattoo is just a whole nother challenge in itself that nobody really talks about or kind of warns you about either, because now you're stiff, you're sore, and everything's just a lot harder to do. I mean, just look at me here trying to put my pants on after getting my leg tattoo. Oh my god. Oh. Pretty much everything you wear feels a little bit uncomfortable. They also fit a lot tighter because you're now swollen in that area. Clothing tends to stick a lot more to the area because now that tattoo is still releasing plasma and blood that's coming from it. The fabric also can rub against that fresh wound, which can kind of feel uncomfortable and lead to irritation. I've actually had that happen a lot in my past. Overall, it just sucks and it can get pretty painful and uncomfortable. The only way to really go about fixing this is just dressing like a slob for the next week or so by wearing loose gym clothing, shorts maybe, baggy sweats, baggy sweater. You know, it's a lifestyle change for the next week or so. Now, at number 6, we have a weird pain that some of you will know exactly what I'm talking about, while some of you will have no clue what I'm referring to, because this pain's very spontaneous. It doesn't happen all that much and it hits you when you least expect it. And what I am talking about is that random lightning bolt of pain you get mid-session in a whole different area of the body. Now, this one's a weird type of pain because you're doing fine while getting tattooed, everything's tolerable, or at least for the most part, and then the artist goes ahead and hits a random spot on the body and it feels like they have just stabbed your soul. You feel a sharp pain, but it's in a whole different part of the body that's not even remotely close to the area that you are having tattooed, and now you're left feeling pain on all ends of your body. Now, I've actually had this happen to me a couple of times. My most recent memory of it is when I was getting my fingers tattooed. I was having this finger tattooed and I just felt an immense amount of pain in another finger that I had not had tattooed yet. But there was another instance, and this one's the one I remember most because it was the most painful, and that is when I was getting the back of my thigh tattooed, and then randomly I felt an immense stinging and pain in my neck, and this sucked because it hurt a lot too. It hurt almost like I was getting tattooed in that area as well, and it didn't let up until we had moved on from that area that we were tattooing on my leg. Now, the explanation to why this is happening is mainly because the area that is being tattooed is near a certain nerve, and then that nerve is kind of connected to that other part of the body. It's in a rare occasion that doesn't really happen all that often, but when it does happen, this is a weird random pain that just sucks because, again, you are feeling pain in all different areas, and it's some areas you're not even being tattooed. And for number 7, we have a pain that, in my own personal opinion, is one of the worst out of all the ones that I have mentioned. Yeah, this is a pain that I think that is not really talked about enough between people, and it's probably because too many people try to play themselves stronger than they are, or because, you know, pride, ego kind of take over. But it's when the pain becomes mental. This is when your mind starts to give out on you and you start telling yourself you can no longer do it. And for me, this is one of the most painful and defeating feelings that I have ever felt for a tattoo. I've always said, and I truly do believe, that a tattoo is just as much mental as it is physical, and you need to be strong in both aspects or else you're not going to make it through, especially for those longer type of tattoo appointments. Like, I've had a couple marathon sessions in my past where I've done 5 full days of tattooing in a row, and during my most recent marathon with Sandry, I had this pain come about multiple times where I just felt like I could not do it. The mind starts playing with itself. You start saying to yourself you're going to tap out, and for me, this one just hurts deep and it is super painful, especially because I am somebody that prides themselves on being able to survive and sit through long tattoo appointments. But now I was no longer having that happen. I wasn't sitting as easy as I usually do. That feeling of pain was a lot more. I wasn't focused, and overall I just started doubting myself. And I don't know about all of you, but that is a super defeating feeling, and it is a very painful one as well. Take it from me personally, especially after that last tattoo appointment that I just had, it really took a toll on me mentally, and I am actually really terrified for my next tattoo appointments going forward with another kind of marathon session with Sandry, because I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it again. So yeah, there you go. If you thought the needle was the worst part about getting tattooed, think again, because there is so much more to it. Now let me know in the comments which of these pains you felt the most, and if there are any painful things that have absolutely wrecked you that I still have not mentioned, then let me know in the comment section, and we will be back here for a brutal pains part 3. Now go ahead and watch my first video right here and see all the pains that so many other people are agreeing with me on. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Like always, Justin out. Later.